ladies and gentlemen, to another JVS movie review. This time we bringing you Pixar Animation's latest film, Onward, starring Tom Holland, Chris Pratt, Louis-Dreyfus. I always got to slow down before I say her name. Excellent actress, though. And Octavia Spencer. Let's give you a quick premise before we jump into this latest animated blockbuster, because it's a Pixar film, so it's going to make lots of money, because most Pixar films make lots of money, except for like The Good Dinosaur or something like that. But set in a fantasy world where the populace once had magic, two teenage elf brothers, Ian and Barley Lightfoot, receive a wizard staff as a prearranged gift from their father, who died before Ian was born, and when Barley was too young to remember him. The staff, with a spell, can bring back their father for only 24 hours so the sons can meet him. Kind of weird, right? Prompted by Barley, Ian uses a spell only to end up with half of their father. Very funny part there. This causes the brothers to go on a quest to get another Phoenix Stone to get the rest of their father before the 24-hour period is up. So, I know what you're thinking here, because you're probably thinking what I was thinking. The premise sounds like it could be really bad or really, really good. And for a Pixar movie, this one comes on the back end of their Pixar films, especially of the original. So don't think about the Monsters University or the Cars 2 or I think it's a Cars 3, or all the Toy Story sequels or the Incredibles sequel or Finding Dory. None of those. As I'm judging this movie, I'm strictly would judge it based off of it being a Pixar original film. And as a Pixar original film, it is up there with like The Good Dinosaur, which I mentioned earlier a little bit. Like, that's where this movie fits, between like The Good Dinosaur and maybe Brave, in that scale of Pixar films. This is not a strong movie. It is not a bad movie, though. You're going to enjoy it. The kids will enjoy it also. The quest of it, and that's the key part to focus on here, is the quest of it. I'm not going to focus on the voice cast. Again, I said what the voice cast was. I can tell you right now, Chris Pratt is not that good of a voice actor. He's not someone who I need to ever hear do voice work ever again. Ever again. Tom Holland is basically almost playing the exact same character he played in Spies in Disguise. I'm used to hearing his voice right now. Julia Louis-Dreyfus and Octavia Spencer have a lot of chemistry, even when their voice acting has a lot of chemistry in this film, and it really works well when them two are on screen. I really enjoyed it. But other than that, this is really the most kid movie-ish, and that's not a word, but I'm going to make it one, kid movie-ish Pixar film I've seen since Cars. It did little to engage me, and that's because I've seen road trip movies. Unfortunately, recently, if you saw Sonic, you saw a road trip movie, and this is another road trip movie that has magical elements in it that works at times and doesn't work at times. They didn't focus enough in this film on building the world around these characters, because that world is way more interesting than these characters are. To have a world that once had magic, and then because of convenience they gave up magic just because it was too hard to learn magic. And like, that's a story that needs to be told. Who are the people in this world that still practice magic? Are they superior to the ones who decided to ease out of practicing magic? Like, it's so many questions I have on this world and how this world could be so great, and instead we get a average road trip movie that has funny moments. It really does. It has really funny moments. At the screening I was at, a lot of people were laughing, especially this one guy who was like right beside me, who laughed at everything humanly possible. It's really irritating me, but other people found the movie funny besides him, because he don't count. But other people found this movie kind of funny too. It has its moments, as most Pixar films do. But what's missing in this film, and what they attempt to give you and they fail at, is the heart. Most Pixar films have lots of heart in it and have a great message of something in it. Even when this film gets to the point of delivering whatever message that they thought would work, it doesn't. And you're stuck, and you're like, oh man, I just sat through this movie and you're giving me this horrible message at the end of it. You're not giving me the touching moments of a Pixar film. So you basically just made me sit through a road trip movie that's average at best. And that's how I felt in this movie. It's not enough of the world surrounding these characters to keep you interested. Now, Tom Holland, again, we've seen his character in Spies in Disguise. I mean, with his voice talent, all that stuff, it's the young, naive character. I've seen this enough, Pixar. We don't need this anymore. You can give us a young, confident man or young, confident girl, anything. Young, confident, transgender. I don't care. As long as the character is confident in themselves. I don't need these characters not to be confident anymore. We've seen this in animation enough. We know where that story goes to when they're not that way. So just make it a strong character. Then you get Chris Pratt's character who's extremely strong, but then extremely dumb. We've seen that character before. The character's everywhere. The only good characters in this movie, again, Julia Louis-Dreyfus, character as their mom, is great in this movie. Man, if we could have got just a movie based on her and how it was to raise her kids in this world without their father and dating a minotaur, like, that would be a movie that I would want to see. Like, that would be something to sell. Instead of this road trip movie that no one needs. Out of all the cartoons that were coming out this year, I felt Onward, especially for Disney, because they had this one and Soul coming out later on from Pixar. I thought this one would be better than Soul, but neither one of them like clicked to the way I wanted to see them. And it justifies my thoughts by the way this film is executed. Like, when are we going to get to the Wall-E's, the Ratatouilles, and things of that nature? Those original stories. This just feels like a lazy Pixar movie. Like this, it feels like it could be someone's sequel to a movie that we hadn't seen the original to. That's what it feels like in this movie. It feels rushed, amazingly, for a Pixar movie. This feels rushed at an hour and 35 minutes. It's they didn't give the world long enough to breathe. This movie could have run an hour 40 to hour 50 minutes as long as you showed more of the world around these characters. Maybe I would have cared a little bit more about their quests. I could care less about their quests when it seems like he's the only one who's using magic in this movie, which is Tom Holland's character. He feels like he's the only one using magic, and that's not drawing a red flag to everyone else when no one else is using magic. That this kid magically knows how to use magic because his brother he plays Dungeons and Dragons and can It just felt lazy. It looks wonderful though, as most Pixar films do. Looks wonderful. The voice cast does a pretty good job besides Chris Pratt. It gives you everything you would expect from a Pixar film in the sense of trying to bring up these emotional moments. It just does not execute them well. So again, if you like The Good Dinosaur, if you like Brave a little less than you actually may have liked Brave, if the Cars series is the favorite thing from Pixar for you, Onward is for you. If you like anything else, the upper echelon stuff that Pixar normally gives you, skip this movie because it's not going to do anything for you. So, Onward. Out of a 10 rating, we're going to give Onward 6 out of 10. I was stuck there because I was about to say 7, but I'm like, it's a 6. This is a 6 out of a 10 movie. This is a very forgettable, skippable Pixar film, and that kind of hurts because I love Pixar. I love Pixar. For them to have a movie that I feel is skippable, and I haven't felt that way again since The Good Dinosaur. I haven't felt that they made a movie skippable, and Cars 2, but we're not going to count that one. Like, that really hurts to bring that up. That I think this is a skippable movie here. But your kids will like it. As adults, you may not like it that much. Your kids will like it. Preferably in that age range of 3 to 8. They'll love this movie. Anyone above that, they will have questions that don't make sense. There's things in the movie that won't make sense to them, and then they'll have questions, and then they'll do nothing but irritate you. But this has been another JVS movie review of Onward, which drops this weekend, March the 6th. So, check it out. If you got little kitties, if you don't have little kitties, skip it altogether. Don't even worry about it. Catch it on Disney Plus when it arrives. Peace, people.